everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode of Open Here. My name is EnbyAndy, so thank you for coming back and watching the videos. It's been quite a busy week for me, and I've had a lot of comments and questions coming through on my social media and through the comment section on YouTube. Now, I can't cover every single one, but I've got 3 topics to cover this week, and the following ones I will cover in the following weeks. So to start this week, the 3 topics, let's start with asserting your pronouns. Then we're going to discuss, is being assigned female at birth easier than being assigned male at birth in non-binary terms? And how long from questioning to certainty in my non-binary journey? So some interesting topics. So we'll get started with the first topic. So asserting your pronouns. Now, somebody contacted me where they've having friends and family who are aware that they're non-binary. They've told them their correct pronouns. Remember, not preferred pronouns, we're talking correct pronouns because this is who they are. And they're still getting misgendered by their friends and their family. So let's say, for example, same as myself, they are they, them. But their friends and family are still saying she, her. Now you can imagine it's quite painful. You've opened up to someone, you've explained who you are, you explained how you want to be identified, you explained that, do you know what, I don't feel like she, her, I am they, them. Can you please use those in the future? And you still get kickback from people who are refusing to do that. So as you can imagine, it's quite a hurtful experience. Now, they've come to me asking for advice on how to tackle that. And I believe the best way to do this is to be firm but polite. So if someone is misgendering you and it's not an honest mistake, they're doing it and they're just not using your correct pronouns, firmly and politely tell them it's wrong and tell them how you wish to be addressed. And I think the best way to give an analogy of this would be, it's like correcting your name if someone's using your name wrong. So someone keeps calling you Sam, but actually your name's Samantha. You'd correct them, wouldn't you? You'd stop and say, I'm sorry, actually it's not Sam, it's Samantha. Let's do the same with pronouns. We're doing it firmly, we're doing it politely, but we're correcting the people. We're going to tell them they're making a mistake. We're going to tell them that you're making a mistake, you're using the wrong pronouns, this is who I am. In the future, use the correct pronouns. It's important for us, it's part of our identity, and it sucks to be misgendered, it's hurtful. So let's make sure we tell people in the nicest possible way, do it properly, please. Now, the next topic, I'm going to use some terms such as assigned female at birth and assigned male at birth. So is being assigned female at birth easier than being assigned male at birth in terms of being non-binary? Now, I don't want to start a whole slagging match here. I don't want to pit us against each other. I don't want to have an infight between non-binaries. So I'm going to say from the get-go that everyone has it hard to be non-binary. It's not inherently easier either way. However, the way society sees the world is that masculine is the default. So if, for example, someone is assigned female at birth and they discover they're non-binary, amazing, let's start your journey. But it's always going to be easier for someone who's assigned female at birth, whether they're cisgender or whether they're non-binary, to wear masculine clothes, because that's what society deems is acceptable. So it's easier for a woman or a non-binary person to wear a sweatshirt, jeans, a shirt, anything like that, than it is for someone who is assigned male at birth, such as myself, to wear something like this, like a dress. And again, it's not a way to start an infight between non-binaries. It's not discounting the difficulties that people who are assigned female at birth will still face when becoming non-binary and coming out on their journey, and the issues they face are still just as massive as ours. However, I do feel that they have one slightly less stumbling block in terms of, if they want to wear a masculine clothes, it's going to be okay for the most part. It's kind of, society still deems that as normal, because masculine is the normality. Masculine is seen as, well, this is the status quo. And it's all down to the patriarchy and down to how men are the default. So yes, I do believe it's slightly easier to be assigned female at birth than assigned male at birth when it comes to being non-binary. But again, we all have it difficult. We all fighting a struggle and we all face the same challenges. So let's not all fight each other. Let's just try and support each other. We all face challenges, and let's just make sure that we work together to try and educate people and make the world a bit of a fairer place. So the last question is regarding how long it took for me to go from questioning to being certain around my gender identity. Now, everyone will have a different kind of journey, everyone will have a different path, everyone will have a different experience. I can only talk about mine personally, and if it resonates with you, fantastic. And of course, if you have a different path, if you've had a different experience, put it down in the comments and people can read it and understand different perspectives. So personally, for myself, I started questioning my gender identity properly, like coherently and consciously, about 6 months before I was certain that something wasn't quite right. And in that 6 months, when I kind of had an awakening of maybe I don't feel cisgender, maybe I am non-binary, it was an intense 6 months of juggling feelings and questioning myself and wondering whether I was right mentally, because society again makes you feel that it's not normal. So during those 6 months, I spoke to some close friends about this. I followed quite a few different accounts on the internet, on social media, to get some understanding more about what being non-binary is and how to identify little things within yourself of being non-binary. And during that time, during those 6 months, doing all that kind of work, I also had to think back of instances in my past, in my childhood, as I was growing up, which kind of clicked. I can't really click my fingers very well, but it clicked that, well, actually, maybe that happened. I felt that way because I'm not a man. Maybe I am non-binary. So I took that time to think and question quite a lot of things, but to do research and to speak to people and work out exactly what it meant and who I am. And that's the important thing. It's to just take your time. There's no rush, there's no race to get out the gates to out yourself as being non-binary. Do it when it's right for you. Do it when you feel safe, and do it when you feel ready for yourself. It's not for anyone else. This is for you. So take that time, and maybe you'll never ever be 100% certain, and that's okay as well, because gender identity, same as sexual preference and sexual identity, it can be a fluid, flowing thing. It changes over time. I mentioned my sexual preference, my sexual identity. I used to be bisexual, and I realised over time, well, actually I'm pansexual. And that can happen as well with regards to your gender identity. You can start off as being non-binary, and of course, under non-binary, there's so many different umbrella terms, like gender fluid, agender, demi-boy, all these other different things, which I can maybe cover at a different time. So take your time, do the research, understand yourself, speak to some friends if you've got some close friends you can confide in, and only come out when you feel ready to. There's no rush. Take your time. So those are the 3 topics for this week. I think actually there have been really good questions coming in from the viewers of the YouTube channel. It's been fantastic to get the engagement, and I've had some really, really heartwarming messages coming through from people who are questioning themselves, people who have come out and my stories resonated with them, people who are 30 plus, same as myself, people who have been parents, people who are married. And I think it's nice for people to see publicly that they're not alone. There are people just like you out there, and I'm really enjoying being able to share my experiences and share my knowledge with you to try and further your own journeys, and actually just to make you feel validated, because you are valid. You're a beautiful person. You're amazing, and whether you're out or whether you're not quite sure, love yourself, because this is a beautiful journey, and we're all are beautiful human beings. And we just want to express ourselves and how we feel on the inside. We want to express how we look to that on the outside as well. So for next week I have got a few topics lined up, but of course go in the YouTube comment section if you've got any further questions or anything you want me to cover. Same as Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Reach out to me, tell me what you think, tell me how you're feeling about the videos and let me know how things are going. I'll ask you to like and subscribe the video as well, so you'll be ready for next week's. And of course you can go back and watch the previous weeks if you haven't done so already. So thank you very much for watching. It's been my pleasure as always. I look forward to hearing from you soon. And in the meantime, stay safe and stay friendly. And I will speak to you all soon. Take care.